is. What's happening? Welcome back to the channel. So, today I've got something in the shop. And if you follow my channel, you've heard me talk before that I really don't like to work on people's projects or hot rods or, they're weekend cruisers. Now, this truck belongs to a buddy of mine. He just bought it. He knows zero about working on anything like this. Now, he did do a few things to it himself that he was capable of doing. So let's take it back to the beginning. It's a 59 or 60 Ford pickup. They all look the same. I bought this truck. Actually, I went with him. We bought it down in Virginia, trailered it home. We heard the motor run. We couldn't drive it. The shifter, somebody put a floor shifter in it, and it was all boogered up. So we brought it in the shop. We ended up, the shifter was welded to the floor, the tunnel that unbolts and bolts in the truck. We cut it out, we fixed it, got the shifter to work just to find out the trans was no good. So it's just a little 3-speed. Truck's got a 6-cylinder, 223 6-cylinder in it, and it's got a little 3-speed trans in it. Found the trans was bad, pulled the trans out, took it apart. It's full of water, it was junk. So we loaded it up, took the truck back to his house, stuck it in his garage until he found a trans. Now, he actually found the trans, and I was just swamped. I could not get time to do it. And he helped me pull the trans out, so it was a very easy trans to take out. So he was able to put the trans in himself. He got it going. He called me. He says, hey, look, I got the trans in it. I got the wipers working. I got a horn on it. I'm going to take it to DMV, but a couple lights don't work. Can you help me? So I went over to his house. We got some lights working on it. He drives it to DMV, which is like 5-6 miles from his house. He doesn't make it. And calls me on the phone. He says, hey, man, something's wrong with the truck. It won't roll. So I'm thinking maybe he did something on the trans. You sure you put gear oil in the trans? Yeah, I put gear oil in it. Okay, no problem. I go over the rollback, and as I'm winching it up on the truck, I can see the rear was like chattering to turn. Ooh, something ain't right. So we just take it back to his house. That way he can at least put it in the garage, and then we'll figure out what's wrong with it. I crawled underneath it. We took the drain plug out. Lo and behold, boom, the rear's full of oil. Or water, no oil. There's a drain plug. Well, I should say a fill plug. Pop that fill plug out. It's a ball of rust in there. Got my air conditioner on. So, found the rear was no good. Now, other than chaining it down on the trailer at nighttime, I'd never really been under this truck. So, I'm laying under it and I went, oh man, I'm seeing some stuff. So let me spin you around. So I'm laying under the truck and I went, oh boy, I spotted this right away. These should be square at the top. Somebody used the wrong U-bolts when they lowered it. They did, however, put shackles in and front spring mounts in. And of course, I saw the famous brake line because we don't know how to make a flare. You know, the old. So we're going to repair that. Obviously, get rid of these U-bolts. And then I noticed it's missing shocks. There's no shocks on this thing. They're supposed to be on these trucks. There's supposed to be a mount that bolts right here where my fingers are. And the shock goes up to here. Now, the upper mount is still there. And so they did not put shocks back on it. Why? I don't know. So, I just got this thing on the lift. It's the first time I've been underneath of the truck. And I noticed when I was rolling it in that the wheel had a lot of play in it. So I'm like, what's going on there? And I noticed it the night that we chained it down that when they put the drop axle in, the front U-bolts are not long enough. They're on there by maybe 2 or 3 threads. Then I noticed this. None of this stuff is tightened up. None of it. No shocks on the front again. There's the upper mount there. And there should be a mount here. It's not like it's hateful. It's all repairable stuff, but it's just irritating that, you buy this stuff and the guy tells you it's a roadworthy truck, and this thing's far from roadworthy. And the scary part was he was driving this thing to DMV. So, like I said, he was actually driving this truck, which is kind of scary. I mean, considering that's got a lot of movement. So I'm kind of glad that, got a chance to get underneath it. Now, the main reason why I hate working on this stuff is I spent 10 minutes and I found all that stuff wrong. It's going to cost money to fix it. It's not the end of the world. I can fix it. And now, he's a buddy of mine. We've already had a conversation about price, and I'm not, I can't just go through the book and go, okay, this is going to be 10 minutes or an hour, this is why I don't like this kind of work, because I actually got to track my time and then at the end I bill for it. A lot of people get sticker shock. Oh my God, you spent this much time on it? Well, yeah, I got to be paid. I can't just say it's, the book says 3 hours. And that's why I don't like this kind of work, because what happens is you end up getting more time in it, and you bill for your time, which you should be, and you should get paid for your time. You got 10 hours in it, you bill for 10 hours. You got 20, 30, 40, whatever. Problem is, a lot of guys that have these old cars, they've already paid too much for them, and now they got to go put money in it. They get frustrated. He was getting frustrated because, he's already put out a bunch of money. He can't drive it, can't use it. And I understand. You spent a bunch of money on the truck. You went out and you bought parts to get it, to drivable. And it's still not where you want it to be in your head. And you still got to spend more money. That's the problem with working on this kind of stuff. Me, I rather, just like I just finished up, just took it off the lift literally 10 minutes ago, 2017 Dodge Pro City van. It's like a Ford Transit van, but it's Dodge's version. I just put a motor in. Simple. Motor calls for X amount of hours. I bill for X amount of hours. I bill for the motor, parts, done, gone, out the door. And that stuff is just much easier. There's no custom making stuff, no hunting parts down. Now I got lucky, got really, really lucky. I found a whole rear. Actually, I found a whole frame. The guy was going to sell me the rear out of the frame. I drove about an hour from here to go get the rear. I get there, he didn't have it cut out of the frame. So we started talking. I ended up buying the whole entire frame, which came with another 6-cylinder like that's in this, 3-speed trans, dry shaft, rear, and it's a complete rolling frame, which is great because now I've got all the shock mounts that he's missing. If we need a spare trans or if we need a spare motor, I got it. So I bought the whole thing. So that saves him a bunch of time and money, because now I don't have to hunt down shock mounts, hunt down a rear. Now I've got a rear that I can pretty much, other than switching the brakes and stuff over, I can pretty much bolt the rear in. Went out and bought all the correct U-bolts and stuff for it, so it should be pretty straightforward. So this is why I really don't like that kind of stuff. But we'll get it right. We'll make this thing roll and run again. So holla at you, boy. I'll share a little bit of content as I fix this thing up, get it back to looking good. So for right now, I'm going to go out back and cut the rear out of the parts frame and get the stuff I need and get it in here so I can get it cleaned up, and I'll start tearing this thing down this afternoon. Holla at you, boy, because it's hot up in this piece.